Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Savannah Kendrick and I'm going to be sharing my Salesforce internship with all of you. And I wanted to start off by saying I joined Salesforce through a program called Year Up, and I did make a video about the Year Up program. If you would totally like to check it out, check the description down below. I'll have a link and it'll help make this video make more sense to all of you. So towards the end of L&D in the Europe program, we were completely virtual and we were in a class about 40 different students. So you really have to show what your interests are, and a way that I did that was I made a YouTube video about the Europe program. That's the one that's down in the link or down in this description down below. I wanted to showcase my interest of social media and video editing to my program manager of Year Up. And that got back to her. We ended up chatting more about my interests and what I'm looking to get out of my internship. And that's honestly how I landed at Salesforce. So from the Europe program, you do not get to pick your internship or the role you get. So I landed at Salesforce and I was a product marketing intern. So what is a product marketing intern? Glad you all asked. Product marketing is promoting and selling a product to a customer. So that's exactly what we did throughout my internship. So joining Salesforce, I had no idea what anyone was saying, to be honest. Everyone talked in a different language. That's kind of how it sounded. But overall, I learned that Salesforce has their own terminology for different teams, for different products. It all started to make sense over time. So for instance, we have artificial intelligence, that's AI, but what we call it there is Einstein. So everything has a name, and it was a challenge at first, but over time, as the months went on, I definitely started to understand more and more about Salesforce and what everyone was talking about. So if you are interested in joining a program like this, I would definitely recommend reaching out to one of your managers or a colleague when you're on a team and you are having a hard time understanding what everyone's saying. They usually have some sort of handbook or a guide that will tell you what everything means. And I found that to be really helpful throughout my internship. So when I first started at Salesforce, I had a bunch of projects. I will say I was definitely excited for this first one because it was a Salesforce X Google Adventure one. So Google Adventure was this virtual world that you can go on to your computer, and we had Salesforce trailblazers on there and people just talking about our products overall. This was my first ever project in general at Salesforce, and I got to make a content calendar for our Twitter for Marketing Cloud. And that was really cool because I got to, one, create the tweets. So what are we going to say? Who are we going to tag in it? And I also got to make the videos or the GIFs. So that was a lot of fun. I just found it super interesting and engaging when I first got there because my manager really heard that I wanted to see more social media, try out some social media, and this was one of those big opportunities that I got to do it, and it was a lot of fun. And overall, seeing the impressions at the end of how many people engaged on the tweets, it was awesome because I got around 5,000 impressions on each tweet, so that was really cool to hear as well. Going into more of my internship, I did work on a lot of different projects. I would say I was very cross-functional throughout the company. I was working with a lot of different teams, trying to feel out what each team did and what I liked and what I didn't like. I think that is a very valuable aspect of an internship. I believe when you go off to an internship, you should work your role, but you should also have the opportunity to branch out to other teams and see what they work on and either shadow or pick up a new project and feel it out and see what you really like to do overall. So that first project I was just talking about for Google Adventure, that was actually a team outside of my team, so I was working with social media and not the product marketers, and shout out Anna. That was really fun. Another project that I was working on was called video snippets, and This was a bigger project that I was working on throughout my internship. I don't think that any of them got posted, but that's also another thing. So when you work at a company like Salesforce, for instance, a lot of the projects that you can work on, that you spend a lot of time on, they might actually not even get like posted or shared or presented. They're just ideas. And that's definitely what I've learned throughout my internship. You like can't get your feelings hurt. I didn't get my feelings hurt on this project. I thought it was still really fun to do, and it gave me something to do, and I kind of got to learn more about the Salesforce products overall. So throughout doing this video snippets, we had this idea to do like a highlight reel. So when you think of like football highlights, that's kind of what we did, but for our webinars on Salesforce. So I was assigned a couple different webinars where I would find the like key highlights to take away from the whole webinar that were about like, I want to say like 30 seconds to a minute. And I would put them into a small little snackable video, and we were hoping to get them posted on our social media handle, probably, I think it was Twitter, and they never got posted, but it was a really fun project to do, and I got to do it with one of she was a manager for about a month for me, but she definitely was like a mentor throughout my entire internship. Shout out Rachel. You were so fun. I loved working on that with you. It was a lot of fun. I have so many different projects. I just want to touch on a couple that I thought were the most interesting. There was this other one that I worked on with my manager, Chris. It was called Einstein Engagement Frequency for Journey Builder. So we have this product called Journey Builder in Salesforce. I'm not going to explain it because it'll take a really long time, but pretty much he wanted me to pick a feature out of there and make a short presentation and record myself giving the presentation. So this was a lot of fun because through that project I got to learn more about like how to make a talk track, how to make a presentation really quickly but efficiently, and also recording myself, and then I also got to edit my video, which I love doing. So throughout my internship I've learned how to make presentations. I've also been in a webinar throughout my internship because that was a huge growth area that I wanted to work on, was public speaking, and I actually got one of the opportunities to do so, and it was really cool. It was on this website called, I think it was ANA, and I got to do it with one of my colleagues from Salesforce, and then we got to give this presentation with with a customer from Atrium Health. So that was a lot of fun, just being able to have that experience and work on my public speaking skills overall. I've also done many videos. I've done a lot of video editing throughout my entire internship, which I love. So I do love having that experience. I worked on a lot of social media. Oh, one of the projects that I just got done working on not too long ago was actually called marketing chats. So this was really cool because I haven't seen a really high number like for the analytics throughout my entire internship until this project. So backtrack. So me and a team of a couple ladies, we actually got this idea from TikTok, and it was called Fact or Fiction, and they would say fact or fiction, and it would be like someone that's an expert in a certain field, like a dermatologist, and they would say fact or fiction, picking at your skin is bad for you. Fact, and explain why, and put in like some analytics. And we love this idea so much that we wanted to make short snackable videos and put them onto our Marketing Cloud's Twitter handle. And we wanted to grab people from Salesforce that we thought would be a great fit, that are super animated, very like loud and outgoing, and for them to record themselves saying like, this is a fact, this is fiction, and explaining the reason why. So this was a really fun project because I got to research hashtags, do the video editing for the videos, which were a lot of fun because everyone, when they film like, I don't know, like a 3 or 4 minute video, there's a lot of like double takes of different things, or like they're trying out new things, so like holding coffee or like closing a book, and it was a lot of fun to edit those videos and see everyone's personalities definitely come through. But from that project, because we did it for AI, so fact or fiction for AI, and then we had the answers. Then it developed into us doing this campaign on our Twitter for Marketing Cloud. It was called Marketing Chats. So we had, I believe it was 6 different questions about AI, and we would post them on Twitter, and there was about, I want to say probably 5 or 6 ladies again that we were doing this campaign. So we would post our first question, and then all of us would respond to all the trailblazers and our customers that were responding. So we got to think of like witty sayings and like put fun gifs on there, and it was a lot of fun and super fast paced, and that was a really fun campaign to run overall. But we got to do that for 6 different questions, and then at the end we just closed out. So I really enjoyed doing that, and overall we got our impressions back for that, and it was just such a high number. Like, it was in the millions, and I don't know if I'm allowed to share it, so I'm not gonna share it, but it was just really cool to see the impressions that we got back on that. So like I was saying, I worked on many different projects throughout my internship. I have a lot of different ones, like I was saying, that I worked within, like social media, the content team. I started shadowing the creative team. I've even shadowed graphic design just so I can see more into what they do, because I do have a background in art. I love drawing and painting. I've been doing it since I've been really little, so I wanted to see if I could find something like if I could find something that I really liked that they did, and see if there was like an opportunity for me to try it out. So some of you may ask, like, what are the day-to-day responsibilities for a product marketer? I would say that there's not really a day-to-day, because it's always changing. There are going to be a lot of meetings that you're going to be in for either your projects or just connecting with people in coffee chats. I would say that's a really big key thing that you should do if you are in an internship. I would definitely recommend doing coffee chats and meeting people inside your team and outside your team, or teams that you think are interesting. So definitely take advantage of that. Also, throughout my internship, there were a couple different events. Salesforce from year up pretty much put on a lot of different events where we can meet like really high people up in the company. I thought that was really interesting and cool. We just had a recognition event, so Salesforce interns, specifically from the year up program, all put in submissions to be a part of this recognition event. So you can talk about like some of the projects that you worked on, so you can show it to the wider Salesforce Ohana. And I thought that was really cool as well, because that gave a lot of the interns an opportunity to showcase their work and even potentially get job offers. I would say throughout my internship, if you're going to be in an internship, you need some blue light glasses. Like, that is number one. Since you're on the computer all day, you don't want to hurt your eyes. That is one of my biggest tips. Get some blue light glasses, have snacks near you. You're on the computer for many hours a day, get a new chair. And some people may ask, like, did they provide you with like a laptop? Yes, they did. I did get a MacBook Air, so that was really, really helpful. And how Salesforce employees were meeting was like through Google, so like Google Hangouts and Google Meet. So I was very familiar with that. So overall, I would say understanding Salesforce in general was super easy, since they use a lot of Google-based things like Google Slides, Google Hangouts, Google Meets, Gmail. That was really easy because I already knew how to use all of that for many, many years. And then because of some of the other companies that we acquired, there are like some other things that Salesforce does use. We also have something called like a chatter, so it's pretty much like your own Salesforce social media. So if you think like Twitter, it's only Salesforce employees, and like you can post all your projects on there, or when you're gonna like speak in a webinar, just pretty much like make announcements on your own profile. And I found that to be really cool, because that allows you to connect with not just your team in general, but like your wider team, or even wider. You can reach out to the Salesforce Ohana. Whoever follows you can see everything that you're working on, and that is just awesome, because that even makes people reach out to you for certain things if they saw you worked on something similar, and just more opportunity overall. Throughout my internship, I'm definitely taking away really valuable skills. Like, one is public speaking. That is my growth area I wanted to focus on, and I got to do a webinar and a couple different presentations, and now I can say like I've done public speaking professionally, and I cannot wait to take it into my next role because I'm so passionate about growing and learning, and I think that's going to be a really good skill to have. My second one is definitely networking. I have grown my network so big throughout the Salesforce Ohana, and I'm just so grateful for everyone that I've met along the way, all the projects I worked on with others, all the people that let me shadow them. I am just very grateful, and I'm definitely going to stay connected with all of them. That's also another key thing. Stay connected with everyone. Everyone. Make sure that you have them on LinkedIn. Make sure you're sending them messages, like just checking in and liking their stuff on LinkedIn as well. That really goes a long way, I would say. Throughout my experience, I was completely virtual, so I've never met any of my managers or my colleagues in person, which honestly really does take away from the experience to be in the office, walk past a colleague's desk and be like, oh hey, how are you? You want to get lunch? Or meet someone for the first time. So that was definitely hard, but I think joining the program, then going virtual, and then staying virtual throughout my internship, it was a little bit easier on me at least. And I mean, I still do wish that I was in the office and I could see all the cool things that Salesforce towers have, because I believe that there's 3 or 4 different towers in San Francisco. I wish that I was in person, but I wasn't, so it's okay. I hopefully one day will get to see it in person. I will definitely be bugging my manager for my internship to go see it if I can. Throughout my entire program, so the Europe program was about 40 units, so 40 college units that I was earning. And then I got into my internship. So I was doing my classes from Europe, then my internship, and outside of all that, I was still a full-time student going towards my bachelor's degree. So I have really exciting news. I actually just had like the most stressful week. I know, exciting, right? But I had the most stressful week because this is the last week of my internship, and I've been interviewing for these 2 different roles within Salesforce, and I got both job offers. So it was a really hard decision to make, but I am now going to be a partner marketing coordinator on the MuleSoft team at Salesforce. It's a contract position, which is very common at Salesforce after your internship. And I'm so excited and grateful to start because this position in general is marketing for events and campaigns. And now I get to have that experience of like creating happy hours for our customers. And I think that'll be a lot of fun planning and seeing more of the events and campaigns of Salesforce overall. And I know that we have a huge event coming in March, I believe. So I think this is going to be such a great team. I'm very sad to leave my current team now, but I'm still going to talk to everyone. I'm still going to stay connected, and I'm excited to start this. And I just got into San Francisco State yesterday, actually. So if or when Salesforce and schools start to open back, I might even move. So I think Salesforce overall, this whole entire internship really made me mature. I got to network my absolute butt off. I got to practice my public speaking skills. I also took away storytelling. So as a product marketer, you need to be a great storyteller. That's how, like, if you are talking to someone that is selling you something, how are you connecting with them? You are only connecting with them if you relate to them. So being a good storyteller and connecting with your audience, that is #1 key to being a great marketer. Lastly, what I'm going to talk about is selling your work. I believe that you need to sell your work. No one knows your work better than you. And if you're going to, one, like, throw out your ideas to your manager and you're doing like a pitch, you need to sell your work. You need to be so confident. You need to know everything about that project. You need to have all the right answers, because who else is going to know them? Only you. So definitely something that I'm taking away is selling my work more in my next role. That is something that I learned throughout my internship that I really want to keep working on. I think that is like a growth area of mine, but definitely something that I noticed a lot of from my colleagues, of them pitching their ideas, and I'm definitely going to pitch my ideas in my next position. I also gained a lot of confidence throughout my internship. I feel so much more comfortable in just the Salesforce community overall, and now my professional career that I'm taking the next step into it by doing this contract position as a partner marketing coordinator. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and just one more last thing, shout out to everyone that I met along the way. Shout out to my manager Chris and to my whole team, Blake, Rachel, Hillary, Veda. You all are amazing, and I cannot wait to start my next role and stay connected with all of you. And please comment down below if you have any questions, or in the description I'll have my LinkedIn, so feel free to send me a message. Bye everyone!